And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Now moving into flying weather, satellite imagery showing next system out here developing over the western Bering Sea, a new front here developing also. Got one band here just north of the Pribilofs. A lot of moisture streaming eastward here across the Aleutians, coming with the mid and high level clouds making their way across False Pass during the morning hours today, and clearing out here as you get in toward Bristol Bay. Some clouds up here over the northwest, and also back that up one more time. There we go. Some clouds drifting across the central and south or eastern interior here. A few isolated showers in there, but pretty good low clouds that aren't really showing up on the imagery here. Cook Inlet and areas up into the northern Cook Inlet, Susitna Valley areas, and then clearing out again over the Copper River Basin. A few showers there over the Copper River Basin, and not bad over the southeast coast. Little clouds there right off the coast. Flying weather for tomorrow morning, VFR for the Panhandle, marginal VFR along the south coast, marginal VFR, North Gulf Coast, Prince William Sound, up into the possibly the Susitna Valley again, Kenai Peninsula areas of marginal VFR. That low cloud deck again coming into areas redeveloping a little bit. VFR interior all the way up to the Arctic coast, IFR out over the Bering Sea. And then for the afternoon hours, a little bit of marginal VFR sliding across central and southern Prince of Wales Island in toward mostly Dixon Entrance, maybe catching Metlakatla. Otherwise VFR all the way up into Yakutat, interior to the Arctic coast, VFR, marginal VFR over that system trying to push inland but not making it too far east. So marginal VFR coming into the southwest interior, the IFR along the coast covering much of the Bering Sea, Alaska Peninsula, Kodiak Island, marginal VFR. And for the morning, Sunday, marginal VFR, lower conditions coming eastward here with IFR now across the Gulf of Alaska in toward the Panhandle, right along the south coast of the Panhandle there, with marginal VFR more entrenched over the coastal area, staying nice over the inside waters. And then most of the interior again, Copper River Basin, Susitna Valley, Cook Inlet, northward, VFR into the Arctic Ocean, IFR for the Bering Sea. And then for the afternoon, Sunday, out here to the west, solid IFR here for the Aleutians, Bering Sea, all the way up to the Bering Strait. Then becomes VFR for much of the Chukchi Sea, North Slope, Arctic coast, really good conditions there, wide open, ceilings, visibilities. Some locations unlimited here into the interior, and other cases not unlimited, but staying VFR here down to the Copper River Basin, and marginal VFR a little bit farther east and up the Yukon River Valley there, Norton Sound, back down toward Togiak, and IFR now surrounding Kodiak Island into southern Cook Inlet, but staying mostly off the coast of the Kenai Peninsula, maybe getting into southern Prince William Sound, otherwise marginal there. And marginal VFR now in the forecast for the southeast coast. Passes, Anatuvik, Gadigan, Brooks Range, good VFR through the weekend, the way it looks at this point in time. Lake Clark and Merrill, VFR for Saturday, rainy, also looking good Saturday, VFR flying there, windy. VFR, Isabel, same thing, same forecast from Antasta. VFR day there, Tanita, VFR. Portage, marginal VFR, especially on the eastern entrance. And for Chilkoot and White, VFR. Looking at the freezing levels, not much of a gradient here, generally about 10,000 feet here across the state from the Arctic coast all the way down to Kodiak Island, in across the Panhandle, give or take 1,000 feet either way there, and then 12,000 feet actually coming up into the Kuskokwim Delta, and then the cooler air aloft here behind that front associated with the low pressure area there, down to 8,000 feet there coming in toward the Pribilof Islands, 14,000 feet over the Aleutians. Icing with that front coming onshore, pushing eastward here. Could be some considerable moderate rime icing, possibly Alaska Peninsula in toward Togiak Bay, then up over the northern Yukon Delta, and freezing level to about 20,000 feet or so. And then icing free over the interior, nothing too significant for the Aleutians and the Panhandle. And for the jet stream here, a low way down south, giving southeast flow, mostly off the coast here of the Panhandle, up and over this ridge over the southeast coast, stronger ridge up here over the Northwest Territories, eastern interior, keeping it warm and dry there. And the big low out over the Bering Sea, centered over the northwest Bering at this elevation. Strong westerly flow up to 110 knots across the Aleutians. Takes a turn to the north here and diminishes, and then picks back up to 100 knots southwest or near St. Lawrence Island. And for 9,000 feet, again, westerly flow here south side of this rather potent low center over the northwest Bering Sea, 45 to 50 knots. 40 to 70 knot winds here along the west coast, advancing inland during the day tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon. Diminishing though, but in southerly flow increasing here over Cook Inlet. Light eastern interior, and for the southeast coast at 9,000 feet, not too bad. Stronger winds staying west of the Queen Charlotte's, 3,000 feet. Stronger winds staying off the coast here, so pretty light over the Panhandle. Central eastern interior light winds. Big change here along the southwest coast. Our winds really increase as you head west. Looking at 55 knots there for the Yukon Delta, up to 60 knots toward the Bering Strait, and then strong westerlies here across the central Bering Sea, following in behind on the south side of the low center. Turbulence, considerable moderate turbulence here, surface 7,000 feet, northern Bering Sea, St. Lawrence Island, Nunivak Island, all of the southwest interior into Bristol Bay.